I'd like to welcome everybody to the City Council meeting, Tuesday, April 7th, 2022. I'm going into the mayor tonight. She's away on a business commitment. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Sunday.
Here.
Mumgarden.
Here.
Gaines.
Here.
Glover.
Here.
Jaworski.
Here.
Klug. Here. Stubbe.
Here.
Ingber.
Here. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
We do.
And there's a current copy of the Open Meeting Act posted in the City Council chambers. There's no proclamations, oaths, or presentations tonight. So before we go to the city administrative report, if I could make a comment or two, I wanted to welcome everybody back to City Hall after a year-long renovation project. Although this building is 100 years old this year, it has good bones, as they say, it has good structure, but we had not done any major renovations in decades probably. And so it was good to get it done when we did. Among other things that you'll notice is there's a lot of work that went into it to brighten it up, make it feel bigger. As a matter of fact, and those of you who were in here when it was a courthouse many years ago, it is similar to the way it looked then, very much so, with the hallways seemed twice as big, it's brighter, and other than that, the historical qualities are still here. There's a new energy efficient heating, cooling, and lighting system, a fire sprinkler system, ADA compliant restroom facilities, and a new layout of office space on the first and second floor, which will make it much easier for us to serve the public and to do it in a much more efficient way. The city administrator is going to thank the appropriate people, but I do want to thank the city administrator, Amber Powers, for her leadership in getting this project going, getting it done. The other people I will let her thank, other than I want to thank two other people. The gentleman to my left, the Deputy City Administrator, Bill Green, managed to move the entire City Hall to three separate locations and have them function with all the computer systems and everything else, and did it without a glitch. The same thing in reverse, he moved everybody back in here, and it was a very efficient move. And in the meantime, in addition to his normal duties, he was here on a regular basis to make sure the work was done and it was done properly. And so I think we owe him a large amount of thanks for all his hard work. So thank you, Phil, for all you did. It's certainly going to serve us well in the future. And finally, I'd like to thank and congratulate, rather, the City Council and the Mayor. And the reason I want to do that is the foresight that this council had in recognizing that we were way past due in getting this building updated and ready for another 100 years. This council, over a period of several years, set money aside and saved it. So when we did the renovation this last year, we had the money to do it. Rather than having sudden large expense going to the taxpayers, and by doing so, we didn't need to bond anything, which also saved the taxpayers money, because without a bond to pay off, we also saved all the interest. So I want to thank all the council members for that as well. Lastly, I want to tell the council, I think Mr. Green told you already, but because of supply chain issues, the microphones all work tonight. but the queuing system does not yet. So I have no way to know who wants to get in first, second, third, and so on. So if you could help me out a little bit and try not to all have your mics lit up at one time, and please shut them down when you're finished with whatever you have to say. And tonight we're going to do voice votes like we did at the landing, because the voting system has not been placed into operation yet. So with that, City Administrator report.
Thank you, Council President Haber. You kind of stole my thunder. I want to be the first to welcome you all back to City Hall, but you beat me. So, and you've already thanked Council and everyone for the foresight on this project. And obviously Phil, but a huge thank you to Phil Green and also Sean Hostad, who you guys all know. His last day was last week, but those two gentlemen have been instrumental in this project. So really want to thank them. And also Kathy Schmidt for her interior design skills. She picked out the painting, the tiles, the carpet, all those different things that, trust me, you didn't want me to help pick out, and much boring and not very nice. So thank you to those three, and also to the public and to you guys for kind of bearing with us over the past year. So we still have maybe another month yet before completely everything's all up and operational, like Councilman Brandenburg alluded to. But we're getting there, and we're really excited about this. So thank you. Just to give some operational updates, all of the departments that were previously at City Hall have moved back, except Finance. Finance is moving back on Thursday, and they'll be open on Friday to the public. And then, like we said, there's still some minor finishes. And you will notice it's a lot more spacious up here than it used to be. And that's because we have department heads in the stage in the conference room and in the stand in the back as well. They're still available to answer any questions you have. They'll still come up when their agenda items are here, and they're still available to you. They're just not sitting up here with everybody else. It just was kind of crowded. So, and then there will be an open house for the public in May. That date hasn't been set yet, but once it's set, we'll make sure it's out in the public, and you guys should all know about it. And part of that, we'll also have the new fire department vehicles in the east parking lot as part of that open house. They have 2 new vehicles that are going to be operational, I think, this week. So we'll get that out there too, so you can go check those out. And then as far as the rest of it goes, we're excited the 4th graders will be resuming their tours of the City Hall starting next week. So if you stop by in the months of April or May, you may notice 4th graders in the hallways as part of their historical tour that they get. And we do thank the Papillion Area Historical Society and the school districts for putting that on. It's a really great program for those 4th graders to truly appreciate the history of this town and this particular building. And I know Mayor Black isn't here, but a huge thank you to Mayor Black and the rest of the Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial Foundation for an incredible groundbreaking at Sumter last week. The event was well attended despite the wind. And thank you to Governor Ricketts, keynote speaker Secretary Hagel, and the other speakers that were there for their inspiring words. This will be a great place for veterans to come heal and for younger generations to come learn about the Vietnam War. So we're really excited about that project. And then just a few quick reminders. Sheltering Trees groundbreaking is this Thursday at 10 a.m. at the corner of 72nd and Ponderosa Drive. Papillion's spring cleanup days will be April 18th to 24th. From 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day at the Public Works Complex. And it is open to Papillion residents if you need to bring utility billing or an ID with their address. There will be an audit ad hoc committee meeting on April 19th at 5:30 p.m. And there will also be an F&A committee meeting on April 19th, immediately following the City Council meeting. And finally, the groundbreaking for the Sunapee County Wastewater Agency will be April 20th at 4 p.m. in Springfield, near Highway 15 Main Street. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. The next item on the agenda is item C, the consent agenda items. First of all, before we take action, C4 involves Jane Nielsen, who volunteered to serve our civil service. I don't see her here tonight, so we thank her for her offer. Also, C5, you may have noticed there's an appointment of Public Works Director Mike Kleckner as a licensed street superintendent. The reason for doing that is Nebraska Department of Transportation issues a annual incentive payment to cities that have a licensed superintendent on board, so that's the reason for that. That said, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Gates, second.
Second.
Second by Councilperson. Will include any proponents, any opponents? Council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumgarden.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Luke. Yes. Stubbe.
Yes.
Ingber.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Next item on the agenda is item D1, which is ordinance 1962, an ordinance to approve an amendment to the FY 2021-2022 budget. Sir, Council will introduce. Introduced by Councilman Glover. There are no items under item B ordinances, second reading in public hearings. So we'll move on to F1. The first four items, F1 through F4, all apply to the Belterra Phase 3 project, just so you're aware. The first item is F1, ordinance 1953, an ordinance to approve a request for a change of zone from AG agricultural to R4 multiple family residential and R4 PUD2 multiple family residential with a specific plan unit development overlay for the property legally described as a tract of land being part of tax lot 4, a tax lot located in the northwest quarter of section 5, township 13 north, range 12 east, on the southwest quarter of South 114th Street and Shram Road. The applicant is Felker Family Farms, LLC. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 1953?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Stubbe, second by Councilman Mumgarden. Any council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumgarden.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Luke. Yes. Stubbe.
Yes.
Ingber.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
The second item, F2, is Resolution R22-0041, a resolution to approve a request for a final plat for the property legally described as a tract of land being part of tax lot 4, a tax lot located in the northwest quarter of section 5, township 13 north, range 12 east of the 6 p.m. Suffolk County, Nebraska, generally located on the southwest corner of South 114th Street, Shram Road. The applicant is Felker Family Farms, LLC. Their motion to approve resolution R22-0041.
Motion.
Motion by Jaworski, second by Councilman Glover. Are there any proponents? Any opponents? Any council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumgarden.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Luke. Yes. Stubbe.
Yes.
Ingber.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
The third item, F3, Resolution R22-0042, a resolution to approve the second amendment to the Belterra subdivision agreement. Is there a motion to approve resolution R22-0042?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Gates, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Jaworski. Thank you. Is there any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumgarden.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Luke. Yes. Stubbe.
Yes.
Ingber.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
The final item with this project is item F4, Resolution R22-0043. It's a public hearing and a vote. Resolution to approve the Belterra Plan Unit Development Agreement. I'll open the public hearing. Are there any proponents? Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the council, Larry Jovan, 1440 West Center Road, appearing on behalf of the development and the developer. I'm really here to answer any questions that you might have. This is a planned community Everything that's in the agreement shows the proposed building elevations, materials, color palette, etc. It is a managed community, so everything will be taken care of from lawn care to snow removal, including even exterior window washing uniformly throughout the proposed PUD. There's 96 lots. The 96 lots were all part of the 437 lots that you approved today. This is just the PUD portion. So there is a clubhouse and a swimming pool and various amenities. I think there's a pickle court and trails and some other amenities with this particular development. So with that, I guess I would add that the range of house in this PUD area will be between $450,000 and $650,000. So I think it'll be a very nice community. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Any other proponents? Any opponents? Anyone want to speak for or against? If not, I'll close the public hearing. I might mention this PUD is very similar to what we passed previously, just for information. Is there a motion to approve resolution R22-0043? Motion to Councilman Gaines. Second, Councilman Glover. Any council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumgarde.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Klug.
Yes.
Stubbe.
Yes.
Ingberg.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Next item on the agenda is item F5, resolution R22-0044. The public hearing and vote. A resolution to approve the First Amendment to the Shadow Lake Square Mixed-Use Development Agreement. I'll open the public hearing. Are there any proponents? Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes. Good evening. Joe Zdeno with Lamper Nearson, 14710 West Dodge Road. Here with the applicant, Bert Hancock, who has previously developed the apartment complex to date. This is just an amendment to change that corner from a commercial use to a multifamily use, similar to and consistent with what's out there. So we worked with staff. The only subject to was a submittal of a plat, or a replat for a lot line adjustment that has been submitted to city staff and is being circulated for approval. So I'm here to answer any other questions.
Yeah. Why is it necessary? Okay, you're taking an area that is going to be retail and commercial and office, right? And you're putting it into more houses. Tell me why. See, here's the thing. And one of the hang-ups I have. We continually approve houses of various sorts. I have been pushing for a number of years that we also need to have, well, certainly commercial, but I would like to see more offices. I see a future in Papillion where people can not only live here in very nice places, but they can work here, either retail or offices. I also realize there's a reality out there, and the last several years has really hit us in the face with that reality. I mean, the last proposal we just approved is the high-end housing. I mean, really nice stuff. And I can sit here and I look and say, in 20 years, I can tell you, we're all going to be very, very proud that that's part of the building. But that doesn't fill the need that fits at the other end, and I'm not asking them to. And I'm not asking you to. But it somewhat concerns me that we are taking an area that's across the street from a commercial area and eliminating that as the potential 20-year office and commercial space and putting more, apartments and other things in there. So can you tell me why are we doing that?
Good afternoon, or evening, Bert Hancock, Robert Hancock, 1925 South 64th Avenue. The answer to your question is simply supply and demand. And the demand side of the equation has been towards greater interest in housing in the last 2 years, especially as we've been through the pandemic and people's work lifestyles have changed. In this particular specific location, we made an approach to the seller because they had held the land for quite a long time, since probably 2010, 12 roughly, for a retail strip center. And they had several years of no activity on the corner. Shadow Lake Town Center being right next door has been deemed ample for that sort of retail demand. And that's when they said this would be a more practical use. So the answer is Shadow Lake Town Center is there, supplying a need is the quick answer.
You know, and I'm going to vote for this because I think you're telling us the truth. I recognize that's probably the reality that we live in today. I don't like that reality. I want a reality where, the practicalities say you do everything. You don't do just houses. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to drive in that direction. I agree that it's largely effects that are beyond our control. It doesn't take much of a drive through Shadow Lake to see what the current situation of commercial rental is. So I'm not surprised you're sitting there telling me the money ain't there. It ain't there. So I'm going to approve it, but I wanted to express it's frustrating. And it's not your fault. It's not our fault, but it's frustrating. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other council members that have any questions for these two gentlemen? Thank you very much. Are there any other proponents? Any opponents? I'll close the public hearing. I need a motion to approve resolution R22-0044.
Motion.
Motion from Councilman Blue, second by Councilman Stubbe. Any council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumberg.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Klug.
Yes.
Stubbe.
Yes.
Ingber.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
The next item on the agenda is item F6. F6 through F10, those items all apply to R&R Commercial Park South, just for your information. Ordinance 1959, an ordinance to approve a request for a change of zone from AG Agricultural to LI Limited Industrial and GI General Industrial with a property legally described as a tract of land located in the west half of the northwest quarter of Section 2, Township 13 North, Range 11 east of the 6 p.m. Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the southeast corner, South 156th Street and Schramm Road. The applicant is R&R Realty Group. Is there a motion to approve orders 1959?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Jaworski, second by Councilman Stubbe. Are there any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumberg.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Klug.
Yes.
Stubbe.
Yes.
Ingber.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Next item is item F7, resolution R22-0045, which is a public hearing and a vote. Resolution to approve a large project special use permit for the property legally described as a tract of land located in the west half and the northwest corner of Section 2, Township 13 North, Range 11 east of the 6 p.m. Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the southeast corner of South 156th Street and Schramm Road. The applicant is R&R Realty Group, and I'll open the public hearing. Are there any proponents?
Good evening, Mr. President, other council members. My name is Patrick Sullivan, 1246 Golden Gate Drive here in Papillion. I represent the applicant in this matter. We have with us Mike Homa and Tom Woodbrook that are with the development team, as well as Anthony back there, Anthony Krejci with Olson Associates. I'm just here to answer any questions and just make one comment. I know there's several items on here. In the subdivision agreement, we have some pretty high standards that we need to meet to potentially get a building permit for any public improvements, one of which is 7,000 gallons per minute on the water flow, which is pretty high. We're going to try to work on that, work with staff, mostly from the standpoint when we talked to MED, is just that even after development, that numbers are going to produce, it won't produce at that level. And it only takes about half that much for a sprinkler building. So we're going to go back, work with staff. We've been working hard with them to get that taken care of. But for now, we're good to go, and appreciate your vote for approval on this. I'll answer any questions.
Councilman Montero.
Yes, I'm going to bore you with another speech, but here, because I see this as the other end.
Well, I'm in compliance with the comprehensive plan. So.
I'm going to vote for this because I'm very pleased with what you're doing out there. Your client is doing a wonderful job and really adding to Papillion. Again, the diversity. We see a person come in here who's going to put in $450,000, $500,000 houses. Great. We see where the apartments are coming in because we can't really, nobody wants to buy or fill in space with commercial. On the other end, we see out the west end of town, the industrial. That's just fantastic, fantastic. So if you're looking at having a city that has the diversity of uses, tries to be a complete city, I commend you. This is what we're really glad to see. So I'm very pleased you're here at all of you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for this gentleman? Any other opponents? Any opponents? I'll close the public hearing. I need a motion to approve resolution R220045.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Stubbe,
Second.
second by Councilman Jaworski. Is there any council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumberg.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Luke.
Yes.
Stubbe.
Yes.
Engberg.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Next item is item F8, resolution R220046. A resolution to approve a final plat for the property legally described as a tract of land located in the west half of the northwest quarter of Section 2, Township 13 North, range 11 east of the 6 p.m. Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the southeast quarter of South 156th Street, East Ram Road. The applicant is R&R Realty Group. I need a motion to approve resolution R220046.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Gaines,
Second.
second by Councilman Jaworski. Are there any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumberg.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Luke.
Yes.
Stubbe.
Yes.
Engberg.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Item F9, resolution R220047 is a resolution to approve a final plat for the property legally described as a tract of land located in the west half of the northwest quarter of Section 2, Township 13 North, range 11 east of the 6 p.m. Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the southeast corner of South 156th Street, it's Ram Road. The applicant is R&R Realty Group. I need a motion to approve resolution R220047. Motion by Councilman Glover.
Second.
Second by Councilman Jaworski. Are there any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumberg.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Luke.
Yes.
Stubbe.
Yes.
Engberg.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
The next and final item for this project, F10, resolution R22-0048, a resolution to approve the R&R Commerce Park South subdivision agreement. I need a motion to approve resolution R22-0048. Motion by Councilman Gaines, second by Councilman Sundin. Are there any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? If not, please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumgarde.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Fluke.
Yes.
Stube.
Yes.
Engberg.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
That was all the regular agenda. We now move to item G1, which is administrative reports. The first item is committee reports. I believe Public Facilities Committee met before the council meeting tonight, and the newly crowned chairperson, Tom Mumgarde, will now give us a report. Thank you.
Yeah, the Public Facilities Committee met tonight, and we had two primary objects to talk about. One was a discussion of a request by Papillion Recreation Organization, Pro Soccer Club request. That centered on principally 5 different items. One was the use of the Papillion Bay practice fields, the concession stands, Papillion Landing, use of Papillion Landing interior inside turf, and installing lights on some of the soccer fields. The committee had extensive discussion on those, presented staff with our views as to the proposal by Pro to change the current situation. Some of it we agreed with, some we did not. The staff has now been sent back to talk to Pro about that and see where we go next. And it may or may not come back before the council in the future. We also had a discussion that had been going on for quite some time about changing the garbage collection process in Papillion, and whether we should do as other cities have done and have one operator collect garbage in Papillion. That's been a discussion that's been going on for years. As some of you might remember, we had an ordinance years and years ago to change that. The staff had done a really good job since the last several months of putting together some statistical information about who does pick up garbage in Papillion and number of people, etc. That's information that we had asked them to pull off of the permits that come in that every year we approve. What that showed was that there was one contractor that has about 93% of all the pickups in Papillion, residential pickups. He's probably one contractor. There's 2 other contractors that have about the other 7%. So we discussed pros and cons of trying to go to one operator. And staff recommended that no, the pros didn't outweigh the cons, and so there was a motion made to continue on the way we have it now and not modify the garbage collection process in Papillion. That motion passed on a 4-to-1 vote. As I say, this is a subject that says it pops up on Facebook. People are paying for their garbage. It pops up in the city council. I've been there long enough to see it 3 or 4 times. It could come back again, but it's done with our committees. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Mumgarde, for the report. The next item on the agenda are comments from the floor. Are there any comments from the floor, Mr. Irvin? While you approach, I just wanted to remind the council, I just wanted to remind the council that, and I spoke to Mr. Irvin about this prior to the meeting, he realized there was a 5-minute limit, and because it's not an agenda item, we cannot interact with him, question and answering and discussion. That's not allowed. He's aware of that, and I suggested to him that perhaps if he wants that kind of interaction, he can have a councilman put on the agenda, or since I spoke with you, I discovered probably in May the developer will be here, and that might be a good time to address it then. So you're not doing it just to us, but with them as well. So with that, Go ahead, Mr. Erdman.
Thank you. Mike Erdman, 926 South Madison. This is just to start the discussion about this. I see that they've broken ground on 84-370 new development, mixed-use development, which is awesome. I'm happy for it. I think it's going to be great for our city center for residential and business use. Office space, as Mr. Mumgard said today, Councilman Mumgard. But along with all that development, 40 new homes, the over 200 apartment homes, is going to be an increase in traffic. And right now, I was hoping to have this on screen, but you guys have all got my print. There's all this Harrison Street truncates to on the south side to Valley. They're going to extend that all the way to 90th Street, but really that curves more south. And then the Harrison Street's going to come through. That's also proposed on the preliminary plat. And what I presented on the first one with the red and blue lines on this one here is the current traffic flow coming out of Overland Hills. It all comes to a head on 90th and Grunther Road. And right there, everybody comes down Grunther and it comes to Madison or Harrison to hit Valley Road. And it creates a real, not a problem, but there's going to be more traffic. Certainly that volume is going to pick up as people come out north of Harrison Street from the new development. Also with all the new homes and the apartment homes, that's going to increase probably the number of students at Trumbull Park and that traffic also. So as you can see, the blue lines that create kind of a square there, that becomes a racetrack during school days. All the parents are racing around that neighborhood trying to find parking spots. Once they're all taken up, they have to circle the block. And that creates a problem. Not only that, the red lines, as you can see, there is all one-way traffic twice a day during school days. I'm not sure how northbound traffic on Harrison Street out of the new development is going to be impacted by this. And anything coming coming west on Valley is going to have to come up through the block, go to 90th and come back down. So what I proposed, or at least I'd like to at least start the discussion on the next one where there's green and orange on there. In between Overland Hills Church and also the elementary school is simply a big plot of land with a fence line and basically a dry creek that runs down there for runoff. I'd like to see a street built there. In other words, that would be the Taylor Street extension up to the north of, on this image here on Grunther Road. That's where it would cross Taylor Street. Taylor Street truncates again right to Grunther Road there. If that could be brought through, all the way through, people coming down Valley and going over to the Overland Hills area would not have to come up Madison or Harrison. That would take that volume off those streets because we're going to see an increase in volume when they come north on Harrison out of the new development. Also, we can eliminate the one-way traffic by creating, because the issue is student pickup. Where I've got orange lines there is where we can get parallel parking, similar to what we have in downtown Papillion. Not diagonal parking, but parallel parking right next, just short lanes. Where students could actually be picked up off the school property and not have to cross any streets, and it certainly would add to that parking and the available pickups, whether it be bus traffic or pick up by private car vehicle for the students themselves, for the parents. I think that might be the best way. I'm not sure what the impact is or how that would be proposed or considered in terms of the cost of a project like that, but certainly it needs to be considered. If we're extending Valley out, where that would intersect now where it stops on the west side, that could certainly head north again over to Taylor Street and create and open all that traffic up so it flows and not have to stop or be redirected during school hours and school days, but also be able to, for the volume that's going to be increased, and I would say it's probably going to increase at least 25% or more in our neighborhoods. It would also create a north-south. Right now, the only north-south is Harrison, all the way from Lincoln into that new development up to Grunther. Madison also comes there all the way to Valley. This would also, it would add Taylor Street all the way to Valley. So it would give us 3 north-souths, and that's the only place that you can have north-souths between 84th and 90th Street. And then also it would help carry the burden east-west on Grunther and Valley Road. So that's my idea here. Also there's also one more image of that property that I'm talking about, and that fence line that's between the two. That's where I propose that they could put a street. And I know that draws it up a little close towards the school, but I don't think it would create the issue that everybody may think there would be an impact there of the traffic next to the school there. It can certainly be brought up in a way that I believe would be at least 40, for any fence line along the playground, et cetera, that exists there would be 40 or 50 or 50 feet away from any type of street or access or anything else that would be over there. It really wouldn't impact the church at all because that's a hill there. The church wouldn't even see that traffic flowing. They'd probably even hear it based on if there were a chain wall or something else to be built along that road or along that fence line. So anyway, those are my comments tonight. I just really want to start the discussion before we get to a point where a final plat is considered and nothing else is going to be developed or considered. I think considering the size of that project, that Highway 370 and 84th Street, I think the new developer should bear some of the cost of this new street going on since that development is going to create the additional impact of traffic in our neighborhood. So I think they should cost share at minimum. They're going to certainly cost share the east-west valley and probably the north-south from Harrison Street, that extension. I think they should also bear some of the cost for this, or at least they should be able to cost share with it. So,
Okay,
those are my comments.
thank you, Mr. Wood. I appreciate sharing your thoughts. Any other comments from the floor? Yes. Please state your name and address, please, for the record.
Edward Winiger, 709 Ridgeview Drive. So you raised a good point. Maybe it's in some of the planning documents or from the developer or wherever, but have people talked to Trimble Park about whether they can absorb the new student load from families moving in there? Will those families go to Trimble Park, or are they going somewhere else by the school district?
Well, again, we have to be careful about interaction on
Yeah,
this.
that's my question.
But I'm sure that as part of the traffic flow study, it's normal for us to speak with those that are affected, particularly those that are 300 feet within that. So that will be part of the ongoing planning and agreements with the developer, I'm sure.
I just have like classroom size and staffing for teachers
Yeah.
and stuff.
Thank you for your thoughts, appreciate it. Any other comments? Now we have comments from the council and, well, the mayor, is not here, but is there any council comments? The only thing that I'll mention on behalf of the mayor, I will be doing a groundbreaking on Thursday for Shelter Tree, which is a living establishment for those in need that have special needs. I'll be attending that. Also, city administrator mentioned the cleanup weekend, or cleanup week. I think I should mention that the staff, my understanding, the staff will not be helping unload this time because of the possibility of COVID. And additionally, if you have any questions about what you can drop off there, please check the Public Works website within the city of Papillion, and they have a list there of what you can drop off and what you cannot. With that, if there's no other items to discuss, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Councilman Jaworski, second by Councilman Stubbe. Please vote.
Sunday.
Yes.
Mumford.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Glover.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Klug.
Yes.
Stube.
Yes.
Ingram.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, everyone.